Hello, today let's take a closer look at FiiO's FF5. Some time ago I already reviewed FF3 and it was a really great earbuds. So FF5 is development of this model, it's slightly more expensive, their price is $130, but they fixing at least one issue that many were complaining: they offer replaceable cables compared to FF3. And probably they offer different sound tuning, but still it's earbuds. Here used a huge 14.2mm dynamic driver, if I remember well. And FF3 were really great in terms of sound, build quality and stuff, so I have really high expectations for the FF5. And another good thing here is it's great that FiiO pays attention on smaller market niches, because earbuds are not that popular nowadays, but still they have a lot of fans and they have like positive sides and negatives. At negative sides they offer almost no sound isolation, but on the positive side it could be good if you need to be aware about what's going on around you. Also, their sound depends on your outer ear shape, because they don't isolate channel. But at the same time they give you a better stage, so like everything is pretty balanced. And also I know some people who just can't withstand in-ear monitors because they can't stand when something is put into their ear channel, so earbuds could be an interesting option. And of course it's also a good chance to have a big driver fit into your ear, because in-ear monitors are a bit limited in this aspect. So if you're interested in some additional specifications, photos, description of technologies, I will link FiiO's official website. They always have a great promo page for the product, telling all the story. And now let's have a closer look. As you can see, package is traditional for FiiO. It was wrapped in plastic and still uses this foiling. Looks really great. Still probably one of the greatest packages on the market, even in the affordable segment. So here is quick start guide, and underneath we getting earpieces themselves and even some accessories here. You know, it's surprisingly great to have it for $130. You'll get hard case for storage, and inside a bunch of useful accessories. So replaceable balanced connector, which is also really great. Let me open this package accurately to see what's inside. Inside we're getting a lot of foam pads to change the sound and fit if you'd like. Also here donut shaped ear pads, tool to disconnect MMCX connectors, and more foams, more and more different types of foams. So this one is a bit thinner, some kind of rubber donuts, or actually silicone donuts in this case. Those are just for improving fit, so if you pull this silicone ring around your earpiece, it will hold better in your ears. Actually really good idea. And actually
Let's open it. It's
gray silicone bands or donuts, so about the same but just of a different color. So as you can see, accessory set is like really great. In terms of design, they are great. You can see that they made of metal. Not sure if camera will show it or not, but they have interesting like dark bluish, grayish color, or even some hint of dark green. Actually looks pretty attractive. And what is another surprising aspect here, you can see that they are super open. Actually, usually we have grill here to let sound get into your ears, and probably camera won't show it, but you can even see the driver inside. but they are opened on the outer side, and they even have openings here at the stem part. Build quality is great, looks really solid and durable, and actually they looks more pricey than they cost. Here is replaceable cable, you used regular MMCX connector, so it's traditional here. You can replace it with other cable, but you'll probably prefer small MMCX connector, so it won't be stuck outside of the stem. And in general they fitting really great into my ears, but of course fit is really depend from one person to another, because you can have a totally different ears construction. Actually sometimes I even wear them over the ear, and actually it's also a pretty good option. And sound isolation is almost absent here, but that's something to expect for the earbuds. Cable is pretty audiophilic, thick, nicely braided in the insulation, but at the same time it's not super soft. It's not hard, but definitely not the softest cable I've used. So I used it using this chin slider, so I pulled it up to get a better fit into ears. But in general this cable is also okay for me. But also you can replace it with something more soft and flexible if you'd like. Here is the splitter with chin slider, and traditionally after the splitter cable goes down braided, you can see 4 wires here. It goes down to this replaceable connector. They even add these cups for protection, and you can unscrew it, apply some effort to pull out. Actually not really convenient, because this edge is a bit on the sharper side of things, but you can disconnect it, replace with another, and then you need to match this groove with notch inside and easily fit it back, and then screw back, and it can give you a balanced cable if you'd like. So easy and simple solution, great design, level of craftsmanship also on the high level. And of course about the sound, traditionally for earbuds I must say a few words of introduction or preface or caution. Keep in mind that this is a description of what sound I hear with FF5. For you actually you can get a really different experience, because with earbuds shape of your ear and fit really change a lot of things. I prefer to use them with that thin foam tips, and I will describe sound for them, because for me that foam tips making sound more balanced and shifting it from the bit brighter to more balanced and natural. But like you can have totally different ear, they can fit a bit deeper for you, shallower, or like with some angle, and it will be different experience here. I gave them about 48 hours of burn-in, and there were slight changes in sound at the beginning of that period, but I don't think there is much sense in spending some time for burning them in. I tried a few cables from the $70 to $150 range that I have, but actually I didn't get significant changes in sound. Maybe some other cables can do that, but of course I will describe sound with the stock ones. So they are pretty natural, but at the same time they are surprisingly well balanced for the earbuds. Usually with earbuds you're getting either warm sound with added weight and pleasant musical representation, or you're getting some natural bright sound with lot of airness and so on. Here I've got like not both actually, but more balanced signature. So bass is pretty deep, it goes to really good depth, but of course it won't be as impactful and mighty as some earphones can deliver, because it's simpler to deliver bass when you're working with closed acoustical space. In this they still manage to deliver a lot of air to give a nice punch, but it will sound like less tight, but more like spacious because of the open construction. And they will give you a good sense of realism, especially for timbre-rich instruments like double bass. Actually, something acoustical, something made of wood, metal, you know, all instruments made of real materials, they have a lot of richness in their sound, and especially when it doesn't require electricity. But for electronic music, they're also pretty enjoyable, but maybe a lot of people will still prefer in-ear monitors to give that more bass. And first example, it's Glitch Mob, Bad Wings. That example when bass is punchy, and with these earbuds you'll get that sense of punchiness, but at the same time it won't like give you that sensational punch that will shake your eardrums, but still pretty pleasant. And second example, actually a bit unusual, but it's the track that I really like. It's Metallica's Loverman, and bass plays an important role here. It's like building the foundation and giving emotions to this song. Actually, in my opinion, that garage album was like pinnacle of Metallica's shape as a band when they became really mature, but at the same time didn't start experimenting too much yet. And here I really like Hetfield's vocals, also maybe pinnacle of his form. And the main thing is bass. We're speaking about all frequencies, and this earbuds delivers bass line really great. You get that sense of natural bass guitar here. And mid frequencies, they are natural, they are balanced, they are not focused on the micro contrast, but resolution is pretty nice. But at the same time you get airness, you get spaciousness, and actually you'll get a big stage with a lot of air, with big instruments, with good separation. So it's a really interesting impression if you haven't heard natural earbuds before. And this type of stage building is perfect like for some live concerts in big stadiums or audiences, with some orchestral works like George Michael Symphonica that I mentioned few reviews before, for example, and the other live events. But also it's great for the vocal, for the acoustic instruments, and a lot of other things. Of course, a lot of other genres are also sounds really great with them because they are balanced. They don't try to push macro dynamics, highlight emotions, and they don't try to be super analytical or super critical to show all the issues of the record. I mentioned that live and concert records because it's really the records that make them shine most of all. And first example, it's yeah, I selected this track because it's one of the greatest live albums ever performed. It's James Brown live at the Apollo Theater, and this 10 minutes track is a perfect example of perfect work with live audience, and you'll get that sense of concert in that concert hall, and it's really engaging. And second one is Hiromi Uehara, Spectrum. I really like her works. I like that it's jazz music but recorded in like forward rock manner. And this one is not an exception. Super fast piano parts with some, I don't know, maybe it's called breaks, or maybe there is a special term for that. With interesting drum section and rhythm section in general, and these earphones delivers really good sense of realism of fortepiano because they deliver it really well balanced with necessary timbres and overtones and so on. And treble. In this initial state they were a bit brighter than I prefer, but after applying foam tips actually their brightness calmed down, and it just appears really airy. Actually, airy sound is one of the signature features of natural balanced earbuds. Good extension, of course not the maximum, but pretty good, and nice basic overtone saturation. No rich layering, but still treble sounds pretty realistic. It's not too fast or too slow, so weight distribution is another strong part in the high frequencies here, and they balance low frequencies fairly well, and because of that sounds without some big accents. On the frequency response they have like V-shaped signature, but in general to my ears they doesn't sound so. And examples for the treble. First one, it's from HG Tracks sampler. I put a spell on you. Lot of people did cover versions, but Chantal Chamberland is great, offers great vocal and interesting musical accompaniment, so it's a really interesting cover, and of course it's perfectly recorded, and taking into account spacious stage here and nice extended treble, you get good sense of realism. With all that instruments, also a lot of different instruments, all saturated with nuances, details and so on. And another really emotional, really lyrical track, it's David Bowie, Wild is the Wind, also a lot of percussions and Bowie's vocals with a lot of overtones, and these earphones deliver it not perfectly, but on a really good level. And about the sources, actually they require something pretty technical. I like them with, for example, FiiO BTR receivers or FiiO's KA3, but with M11S I like them even more, and with M11 Plus, in my opinion, it's the best pairing. But of course it's not limited to that sources, there are a lot of other options, of course. And speaking about the comparisons, to be honest, I didn't test a lot of earbuds recently, so compared to FF3 they are a bit less weighty, but at the same time a bit more resolving, so FF3 is a bit more like fun, this one is a bit closer to, let's say, audiophilic representation. And EM3 is still better in terms of sound, they have better treble extension, better treble layering, so even more rich, more finely tuned sound. But I suspect that EM5 is already out of production. But anyway, FF5 is a really good option for those who are looking for some earbuds. Thank you for listening, thank you for your attention, and of course have a nice day.